You're tired. You feel stuck. You don't know why the results aren't showing up. You're frustrated. And I'm sitting here telling you how to get through that. But I'm not sharing with you always my own story. Because every coach out there, everybody you ever heard, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Eckhart Tolle, Brene Brown, they share with you the same frustrations you have. They're telling you how to do it, but it doesn't mean they're perfect. On today's episode of Living Rich Sirop, it's all about compassion for yourself and understanding how to turn your mind off, because your mind is really the biggest problem. When I was going through my divorce, I had, before that, been making close to $800,000 a year as a TV producer. I had reverence. I was doing the #1 show of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for a long time, and then the Meredith Vieira show, working on a 30 Rock. I felt really good about myself as far as career goes and success, but I wasn't feeling all that happy. Then, fast forward 6 months later, after the Meredith Vieira show got canceled, I'm running out of money. I'm going through a divorce. Nobody will return my phone calls. You feel lousy about yourself. So I started to tell myself maybe I just got lucky. Maybe I was just fortunate. And, I really hit rock bottom. I was not feeling like I had any worth. My agent wouldn't return my calls. I had to switch agents. I was going through a divorce, renting a place with my kids, and then the place got sold out from underneath me. Now, I wasn't going to have a place to live. I mean, granted, at the time I had already met my future wife, who I was so in love with, and I had her there as support, but that's kind of how life is, isn't it? I mean, you have one thing fall apart, another thing starts to come together. If you think your life is just gonna someday be magically perfect, it's not. No matter who you are, no matter how much you've achieved, there's always areas of your life that feel a little out of whack and that you're always fine-tuning. That is why life is challenging. That's why life is the way it is. But I think the difference between people who get through those challenges and the people who don't get through those challenges is very simple. It's mindset. It's staying in that space. And so right now, I'm kind of in that space, which is why I'm making this episode today. I've been making videos now for over a year, 15 months. And while I've touched a lot of you and you've told me how much, my videos have meant to you or they've changed your life in some way, I'm still only at around 900 subscribers at this point. My channel has not become as big as I hoped it would become. I haven't reached as many people as I've wanted to reach and changed as many lives as I've wanted to change. And the growth is slow. It's like a trickle of water into a bucket. And I'm doing all of the things I'm telling you to do. I'm showing up. I'm not being perfect. I'm taking action. And it's still a slow growth. I haven't had that breakout hit. I haven't elevated to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 subscribers to reach the bigger audience that I really want to reach to be able to share this message with you. So I started to feel down. I went from making 21 videos a week to 14 videos a week, which is not crazy. I mean, 14 videos a week is a lot. But I started to feel like, man, is this even worth it? Am I touching the audience that I need to touch? And I started to discover some things about myself. My mind had turned from this is going to happen to that exhausted, fatigued, I've done all the work, why have the results not shown up yet state. And that is the most dangerous state. That's the place where you need to push even further. So I said to myself, okay, no, you're going to get through this by being positive, by remembering why you're doing this. So I went and read through all of the comments that you have put out there for me about how these videos have helped you. And that inspired me to keep going, because that's ultimately why I'm doing this. You need a reason. Whatever you're doing, you need a reason. You need a why. So my why is you. And that's why when I read those comments this morning, I said, wow, this is the ultimate why. And so now I went back into future version of me. And future version of me is the one who already has 25,000 subscribers, the one who's already reaching a big audience. And I asked future me, what do I need to do? And future me said, just keep going. Just feel positive. Just keep doing what you're doing and understand you're going to get here. As long as you don't feel negative, as long as you don't take another path, as long as you don't quit, you will get to future you. So then today I'm really trying to embody future me. I'm trying to live as future me, as the person that already has this. And what does future me do? Future me does podcasts, because that is my favorite thing to do. Out of all the content I make, podcasts take the longest. It takes the longest to put out there. It takes the longest to upload, but it's also my favorite. So why am I not doing podcasts anymore? Why am I not doing the thing that I'm the greatest at? That's what Future Me does. Future Me has amazing guests on. Future Me has my heroes. Future Me is sitting across from Eckhart Tolle talking to him about presence. Future Me is interviewing people I love. So current me, acting as future me, has to start getting into the microphone, talking on my podcast, doing what I'm supposed to be doing so that future me can exist. Because the way I was running right now, just make the same types of videos over and over again, same topics, same exactly. I mean, I made 670 videos. There's only so many things I could say in 45 seconds, 670 times. So it's time for me to alter a little bit. And that's the key. I mean, I think people think I'm going to hammer it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to hammer it, and it'll eventually happen. But that's part of it. The other part of it is adjusting. And you need to adjust. And when you feel badly and you feel down, sometimes it's hard to do something differently. Sometimes you don't want to do something differently. You just want to keep going the path that you've been going because that's the easy path. How many times have you been in a bad relationship and stayed in it because leaving it was scarier than staying? We will stay in a painful situation before we'll leave it because we like the familiar and we don't like to change. But you need to change. Change is what life is about. You can't keep doing the same thing. It's boring. You want to get a little uncomfortable. You want to get your feet a little bit off the ground. If you're doing the same thing, I mean, I was doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for years. I was so bored I could do that in my sleep. Everybody said, oh, you're so lucky to have this job. Am I? I mean, I was fortunate. I liked the pay. I loved that I was working in the business, but I wanted something else. I wanted something more. So just because other people decide that that's the top of the mountain for me doesn't mean that I need to decide that. And it doesn't mean you need to decide that either. If you're running a company, if you're on the top of your game and everybody says, what do you mean you're going to leave and start your own business? If that's in your heart, that's what you should do, because what are you living for everybody else? You're so afraid of change that you're staying in a bad relationship. You're so afraid of change, you're staying in a bad job. Not even a bad job, one you just don't like. You have to be able to make change. You have to be able to realize that future version of you that already exists. Because future version of you, there's like a million of them, right? I mean, any path you take, any decision you make today is ultimately changing the future version of you, but they all exist. The future version of you that has regret exists. The future version of you that has the life that you want exists, and a million different versions in between that got half of the stuff, that got 3/4 of the way there, that gave up every time it got tough, that succeeded and outmassed even what you could possibly think you could achieve, higher than you ever thought. Here I am saying 25,000 subscribers, right? What if it was 1 million? What if I had a big audience? What if I was a household name and I could travel the country doing big, giant events where I interview people that I love on my podcast? Now that would be a real dream. So maybe I'm downplaying future version of me. Maybe my future version needs to be even bigger. I need to think bigger. A lot of times we try to think smaller so we can actually achieve the goal that we want. And we say, you know what? I really want to be making $400,000 a year, but I'd be happy with $200,000. Would you? Would you be happy with something that you really don't want? I mean, 200 is great, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, whatever your goal is, double it. And I know people don't like to double it. Why? Why do you not like to double it? Because then you think it's not achievable, it's not reachable. So you play small. And playing small, is that what the future version of you does? Did they play small to get there? The person that you really want to be. And I know you don't want to be disappointed, but you're going to be disappointed either way. If you don't go for what you want and you get halfway there, that's a disappointment. If you give it all you got, and you try and you keep adjusting and you keep adapting and you keep moving forward, then the journey is going to be worth it. You're never going to look back and have regret. Regardless of what the final result is, and we can't always control that final result, you're not going to regret it because you're going to know that you gave it every single thing you have. And that's what's been going on with me. I've been feeling a little bit down. I've been feeling the struggle. Everybody goes through it. I feel the struggle of like, what am I going to say today to the audience? Is the audience even listening? Am I doing the right thing? Is this going to become a big enough business for me and make me enough money to be able to sustain it as the only thing that I'm doing? I mean, that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to help people. I have a client that I'm helping right now who told me they've been in therapy for 7 years and in 5 sessions got more out of it than in 7 years. So I owe it to people to keep pushing, to keep trying to get them into my coaching. I don't want to just have 5 clients at a time, 6 clients at a time. I want to help as many people as I can, and I do that by sitting in this chair and sharing things with my audience, sharing the way forward. You know, how to get back in touch with that magic, how to become a child again. Once a week, do something that the younger version of you would have done. And that's the only way I like to travel into the past, in a positive way. What does young Richie like to do? What are his hobbies? What's fun for him? And then I do that for an hour a week. And here I am saying I do that for an hour a week. I haven't done it in a month and a half because I've been down and I've been worried and I haven't been living the life that I've been sitting here talking about. And that's part of it. You can't just talk the talk. You can't just listen to these videos. You really need to get out there and do it. You know, you just can't tell yourself like, oh, I know. You know what some people do? And I'm guilty of this myself. You just listen to a million podcasts. You just go, I'm going to listen, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn so much and I'm going to know everything. Yeah, it's okay if you know everything, but if you don't use it, what does it mean? It means nothing. It means nothing. And you really don't really learn until you do it. So when I tell you to make a video, a future version of you when you're feeling really good, talking in the first person, hi, I'm Rich Sirop, the year is 2029, and I have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm so excited. My audience is loving this. I'm now traveling and doing speeches and meeting some of these people in person. I'm changing lives. They're changing their lives. We're doing it together, and I'm so thrilled to be here. My family's doing incredibly well. My finances are really amazing right now. I have over $2 million in the bank. I'm driving a brand new Infiniti JX truck. I think it's a QX now. It's how long since I've driven one. QX truck. And, you know, you make the video like that so that it's really, you feel it. You feel it. You're not just saying, oh, I hope someday I have this. A hope and a wish is different than believing and embodying that you already have it. That's why you have to travel into the future and let that person take over your body, because you're sending signals to your body that you already have these things. You hear people talk all the time. You have to live like you have it. That's what they mean. Embody it. Every morning you want to embody that. So when you make that video, every Sunday make a video, a future version of you, and just really don't get into that video until you feel it, until you are a future version of you. And record that video, and then every morning before you start your day, watch that video and remember what future version of you looks like, sounds like, feels like, and try to step into that body every single day. Because when you're living in doubt and fear and I don't know if this is going to happen, if that's your primary residence and you're only visiting the place that thinks that you can have it once or twice a week, then you're going to live in that house that says you can't have it. You need to live in the space that says you can have all these things and not just imagine once in a while that maybe somehow it's possible. Instead, embody it, believe it. That's what you need to do. That's what I need to do. And I want to do it together with you. So that's what I'm here for, making these videos, telling you everything that's inside of me. And the other day, some guy said to me on YouTube, somebody posted, why should I just listen to some random guy in a Patagonia? Which kind of made me laugh. I like the Patagonia part. Look, I love Patagonia. I have Patagonia on right now. But why should you just listen to some random guy in a Patagonia? Because I've lived life. Because I've been a stand-up comedian and bombed on stage and became successful enough to get passed at clubs and get paid as a stand-up comedian. I've had a dream of being a television producer, and I became the executive producer, producing $40 million shows. I had a dream of finding true love, and I did. I found the love of my life. I've been able to manifest just about everything I've wanted in my life. So I'm not just some random guy in a Patagonia. Aren't we all just some random person, right? We all are. But what's the difference between Tony Robbins and you? What's the difference between Eckhart Tolle and you? It's not that big. You think it's this, that there's some special sauce, and it's just that they figured out how to do it. And that's what I'm trying to get over to you, because I've had this success, because I'm trained in neuro-linguistic programming, because I've coached dozens and dozens of people now to success. And so I know how to do it, and I'm trying to pass that along. And if you don't want to listen, don't listen. What do I care? I don't care if you don't listen. I'm here trying to help you. But if you want to say, hey, that's just some random guy in a Patagonia, go ahead. I mean, this microphone's not even plugged in. I'm kidding. But, you want to listen. If you don't, then don't. but I'm still here and I'm still going to be leaving these messages. I hope that they're resonating for the right people out there. And I hope that you're able to take this stuff and really put it into action. Just take one thing and put it into action. If you could take anything and put it into action this week, make the video of future you once a week on Sunday and play it every morning when you're feeling good. Watch that video before you start your day and try to embody future version of you for a week. Just do it for a week. And if it works, do it for another week and then another week. And if you really want to go all in, do a 10-week challenge. 10 weeks to the future. See what happens in 10 weeks. See how your life starts to change. You don't have to commit to it forever. It's just like a diet. It's a mental diet, a future version diet. For 10 weeks, make a video every Sunday of future version of you and watch that video every single morning before you start your day and see if it starts to change your life. This has been Living Rich Sirop. See ya, talk to you, hear from you next time.